Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. I'm Kristin Omdahl, and we are live in Southwest Florida in my studio. Got a tutorial for you today and some other stuff to show you. If you're joining me live, please say hello. And if you watch the recorded version, please also feel welcome to say hello. I get notifications for all of the comments throughout the day and love the fact that even if you don't watch live, which most people don't, you can still be part of this awesome community. Hi, Pamela and Lily, Joe, Lisa, thanks for joining live. Good morning, happy Friday. Hi, Edna and Dawn, Judy, Joe, Lisa, Pamela. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jane and Dawn. Thanks, Joe. I love my t-shirt too. I found it on eBay. It's whatever they used for the logo of the Janis Joplin logo. There's glitter everywhere you see the darker rose color, if that makes sense. So like the shirt is not shimmery at all, but everything that's darker here, the image of Janis Joplin, the Janis Joplin, I think even the American Tour 1970, all of the silk screening has glitter on it. Subtle, but it's there. It's so cute. I love it. Hi, Judy. Thanks, Pamela. Hi, Thea. Yeah, I'm very excited about my t-shirt. I'm a huge Janis Joplin fan. Funny that the tour is from before I was born, but I don't care. I like lots of artists from before I was born. Thanks, Thea. Hi, Carrie. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Lucy. Well, if you want to search for it on eBay, it was called the Lucky Brand Janis Joplin t-shirt. So you might be able to find it there. And it was from a seller that sells them new, but it was, I think, under $20. And I had a coupon, so it got even lower than that. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Judy. Hi, Cherie. Thank you. I love my t-shirt. All right, well, welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast, everybody. Happy Friday. We are live in Southwest Florida in my studio this morning. This is episode 510, and I have some things to show you this morning. First of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about picots. I'll write it on the board. A picot is generally in the middle of, as you're working in crochet, it's adding a chain loop and closing it and then moving on in your work. So a lot of times we do that with a chain 3 slip stitch into the 3rd chain from your hook, or a chain 5 and slip stitch into the 5th chain from your hook, and then move on with your work so that we have this chain 5 ring freestanding in the middle of a work. Sometimes it's decorative, sometimes it's for putting a shell in the following round, sometimes it's for a place to join motifs together. There's lots of reasons for picots. The one thing that I've noticed in my experience with picots is that it kind of slows you down, because the action of doing a slip stitch versus a stitch is that you actually have to do a secondary movement of moving backwards to get it through. And so replacing it with a single crochet does two things. It allows you to move along quicker because you're just working in that forward motion, and it also makes it a little bit bigger, which just makes it a little more pronounced. And if you're doing it for decorative purposes, a little bigger is sometimes better. If you're doing it to make a space for slip stitching into, for joining, that could make it a little easier. Now, there is no wrong way to do picots. If you love doing slip stitch picots, there is nothing wrong with that. All I'm suggesting is that there is an alternative if you would like to try it. And what I have found is that I move a lot quicker doing the single crochet picots instead. So I'm going to show you two examples here. This is the same yarn, same size crochet hook, and these motifs aren't done because I was going to show you how to do one of the picots in each. So this is working double crochet chain 3 picot all the way around the motif. Okay, it's going to be a nice little motif. And that's the chain 3 slip stitch. This one is the chain 3 single crochet in between the double crochets. It's almost identical. It is slightly bigger, but not a whole lot bigger, so it's not like it's going to be garish or gaudy or really change the aesthetic of what you're doing. A picot still looks like a picot, and that's what I really love about it, is that we're not changing anything drastically. It's very subtle. So you can see this one is slip stitch picot, and this one is single crochet picot. So we do a double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. Okay, well, we start with chain 5 ring, right? And then around we do a double crochet, chain 3, slip stitch, and that's our repeat for this one. On this one, we do the chain 5 ring, and then our repeat all the way around is double crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook. So let me show you that in chart version. So a picot would be 3 chains and either a slip stitch, so you're working along, you do a chain 3 slip stitch, and then you continue on in your work. You're going to see the whole thing, yeah. Okay, or for this one, you'd be working along in your work, chain 3, single crochet in that 3rd chain from your hook, so you would count back 1, 2, 3 into that first one, and then continue on with your work. So I'll even draw out the chart of what we're doing this morning. Let's see how well I can do that freehand. So we'll do chain 5. So there's our chain 5 ring that we start with. The first double crochet has to be done in chains. So we'll start with a chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet. Let me just mark this for symmetry. Okay, so then we're going to do a chain 3, single crochet, then a double crochet, then a chain 3, single crochet, then a double crochet. Is that still on camera? Yeah, good. Then a chain 3 picot, then a double crochet, chain 3 picot, double crochet, chain 3 picot. I have no idea if this is symmetrical. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, double crochet, chain 3 picot. And I just happen to be writing them with the single crochet for the heck of it. You could do this either way. Chain 3 picot, double crochet, chain 3 picot, and then slip stitch to join to the first stitch at the beginning of the round. That first chain 3 counts as the double crochet. Hey, that looks pretty good. All right, so if we're reading this now, this is how this chart reads. Chain 5, slip stitch to the first chain or the 5th chain from your hook to join in a chain 5 ring. Chain 6, single crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook, and that counts as your first double crochet and your chain 3 picot. Then double crochet in the ring, chain 3 picot, 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 and then slip stitch to the top of the 3rd chain of that beginning chain 6 to join in the round. The reason we're joining there is because the first 3 chains count as our double crochet. The next 3 are part of our picot. So to slip stitch to join into the double crochet equivalent, you want to make sure you're working into the top of that equivalent stitch. So chain 3 counts as the double crochet. So working into the top chain of those 3 is where you would work into it. Does that make sense? And I can show you a finished one of these. Here is what a finished one looks like. Isn't that cute? And I'll give you a sneak peek of what this is for in a couple minutes. But in the meantime, let's do a picot. So first we'll do the slip stitch picot. So I'm ready to do a slip stitch picot on this one. So we'll do a chain 3 and slip stitch into the 3rd chain from our hook. And notice how I have to do a secondary movement to get the hook in place. It's minor. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, and if you like making them, there's nothing wrong with doing them this way. But let me show you how much smoother of a movement it is doing this in single crochet. All right, so we've done a double crochet. We're ready to do a picot. Chain 3 and single crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook, and we're already ready to double crochet again. Isn't that crazy? Look at how quick that is. All right, now that you've seen the quicker one, I'm going to go back to the less quick one so you can see it for comparison again, because it's subtle. They look similar, almost indistinguishable, but it is so much easier to do, at least for me. Chain 3, slip stitch. So in a slip stitch, we're inserting, pulling the yarn through, but right now the hook is facing me. So in order to get it through that first stitch, I've got to now turn my hook down and pull it through. And in order to pull it down, I have to hold on to the work differently. So let me do that one more time to show you how many steps are involved in that slip stitch. And again, this is really minor stuff, guys. The thing is, if you're in a hurry, if you're trying to make stuff for craft fairs or for sale, your labor cost is so important, right? If you're trying to make last minute gifts, the amount of time it takes to make something's important. There's all sorts of reasons why you want to hurry things along or why you want to make them smoother. Sometimes it's just about a Zen project. The more you can just flow through, that's good too. All right, so we'll do the slip stitch one more time. Chain 3, slip stitch into the 3rd chain from your hook. See, I have to grab the yarn then, turn the hook down, and pull it through. Minor, but let me show you again on the other one. So we'll do our double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do a chain 3, single crochet in the 3rd chain from your hook, and double crochet. We're just right back to position for the double crochet immediately. Where are we at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I went too far. Does anybody have any questions about that? Yeah, I mean, I avoid picots sometimes if I'm in a hurry and I want to make a project quickly. I'd be more inclined to add picots to projects with this technique. I don't know about you. And if you like them the old way, there's nothing wrong with that. Please don't think this is, you know, a statement that you shouldn't do them the way you love. If you love doing picots with slip stitch, please continue to do so. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think it's fun to try something new. Variety's good. And I just like the speed and ease of this one. Oh, good. Lots of people want to try it. Okay. So that brings me to the next thing I wanted to show you. And this is a whole bunch of motifs that I've just recently completed using that single crochet picot. I can't read that. Could I use crochet for something? I didn't read all of it. These are the same motif that we just did, but with the single crochet picots. Here is a similar motif, but where we do two picots back to back before doing the next stitch. So this is treble crochet in the ring, and then 2 chain 3 picots before doing the next stitch. See how you get the double bump there between the stitches? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, these would make pretty earrings or pendants too, absolutely. Oh, that one doesn't have any picots in it. That one doesn't have any picots in it. This one has picots in it. This one has picots at the end of each motif, each petal. This one has picots on the entire perimeter. And this one has picots on the edge as well. And I use double crochet picots for all of those. So I am close to finishing a canvas with all of these motifs. Let's see if I can get, I haven't decided if I want to paint the canvas first, but this is the idea that I'm going with, to do something see if I can lift that up without it all falling off. So that is the gist of it. Is that coming closer? Is that gonna? Okay, so that's as far up as I can angle it. Anyway, so I like the white on white with the yarn and the white canvas, but I'm open to suggestions. What do you guys think? Do you think the canvas should be painted first, or do you think the canvas should stay white and do white on white? Because they aren't the same color white, and I think that's really pretty. So I will open it up here and see what you guys think. Cherie likes white. Me too. Dawn says stay white. Judy says paint. Thea, undecided. Lisa says either way would be beautiful. Jo says she likes the white. It is going to be a pretty canvas, Pamela. I love the combination of motifs. Grace is undecided. I think you could do it either way. I think you could do it both ways. If you wanted to do it in different rooms in your house, yeah, light sky blue would be pretty. Yeah, it depends on if you were going to make it for a gift, depending on the holiday or depending on the color theme in someone's house. You could make the motifs in a different color as well. You could make the motifs in a combination of colors. They don't all have to be the same color either. I just like the idea of the white on white right now. Yeah, a pale pink or blue, a pale color would be pretty, a metallic color would be pretty, a pearlized paint would be pretty. There's all sorts of things that would be pretty. Yeah, black on white would be pretty too. I don't think you could, you know what, if you could, these come with burlap sometimes, and I think a burlap finish, you know, where it's just like that rough woven tan color, that would be really pretty contrast with the motifs as well. I can't believe how symmetrical this turned out. It's pretty good. What was Jane's question? Someone says it's a great question. Thanks, Lily. There'll be patterns coming soon. Yep, the patterns are coming soon. I'm just giving you a sneak peek to let you in on the inside to see if you had any feedback about what color to do the canvas. That's all. But they're definitely coming very, very soon. Yeah, you're definitely going to get to make these very soon, I promise. And that is a great question. I forgot to mention it. But you ought to know that that's always the case. I don't think I make much of anything that doesn't eventually become a pattern. Yeah, glitter would be fun too. Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. I was just interested in seeing what you guys thought. Ooh, I've got another one. What is everybody's favorite stiffener for stiffening yarn for jewelry and things like that? What's your favorite stiffener? Because I've been trying different ones, and I want to make sure that I haven't missed any options, so I would love to hear what you guys think. What are your favorite types of stiffeners for stiffening jewelry or other projects that you like to have stiffened? Sometimes people stiffen for baskets. Spray starch is what I'm reading. Fabric glue with water. Sugar water. School glue and water. Does the does that stuff dry clear? I think school glue and water would dry clear, right? Does it dry shiny? It dries, I want to know if it dries clear and if it dries shiny or not. Oh, diluted Mod Podge. Yep, I've used that before and it comes out kind of funky. Maybe diluted would be better. But I've been experimenting with different fabric glue, dries clear and not shiny. Thank you, Jane. Depends on how much water. I'm sure it does. That's true. They have shiny and matte Mod Podge for sure, yes. Ah, for light stiffening hairspray. Interesting. Love getting all these ideas. Anytime you dilute something, it's clear and not shiny. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I've been trying a variety of different things, and I figured I may as well put it out there and see what you guys think, and maybe we can come up with the perfect solution for stuff like that. I find that there are pluses and minuses to each of the products that I've tried so far, so it might be good for a blog post. Yes, Grace, that's what I have found. I stiffened a lace picture frame or mirror frame with Mod Podge and it got funky. It did not dry totally solid, and it might be because of the humidity where I live. That's exactly what happened. That didn't turn out well at all. Boy, was it pretty too. I did this took a square mirror this big and put a mini frame around the outside edge behind the mirror, and then I added a crochet border with like a raglan top. Think about a top-down raglan, only so the front, the sleeves, and the back were all the same size. It was a square. And then I had my 4 raglan corners so that as I worked around, I created this growing square that started with a hole this big. And I did it in the Sweet Clara stitch pattern, and man, was it beautiful. But I did it about this, it was about this thick, all the way around the picture, so it ended up being this big, and I used Mod Podge on it a couple of times, had a heck of a time getting it stiffened, and even after I did, once it went up on the wall, it kept flopping over. Yeah, I've tried Stiffy too. Yep. Stiffy sometimes stains the yarn though, I've noticed, and I don't know why, or it darkens the yarn. So I thought that was a little strange. I wanted something that didn't change the color of the yarn, and I found like that changed the color of the yarn in spots, and I don't know if it's because I wasn't consistent with it, and if I was consistent with it, would that mean that it would darken the whole thing? So I'm not sure if I did Stiffy right, or maybe that needs to be diluted. But I've tried that. I've tried a number of products. So it's just curious to hear what everybody else uses. Okay, what else was I going to show you this morning? Oh, you know what? I can show you. Hold on a second. Hello from Spain. Thanks for joining live. All right, so what I wanted to show you is here's an example of a pearlized blue paint on canvas. This one's much bigger than the one we're going to do, but I can show you what the motifs would look like on here compared to what they would look like on the white. And a contrast color really does help the lace in the middle of the motifs show up better. I think it was important to show a contrast. So I think color is going to work really well for showing off the stitch work in the middle. And I think it's also because I used pearlized paint, so it reflects the light a whole lot. With the yarn being matte, it's a good contrast. That's a great typo. I'm going to glue them to the canvas. Yeah, now that we see the contrast, I think it really answers it for us, right? Well, I have a bunch of Martha Stewart acrylic paints in a box. I have a whole bunch of colors that are pearlized, and I have some metallic, so I'll probably pick a light color, maybe even that blue. That blue is really pretty. Yes, definitely, Jenny. You could use these motifs as earrings. Absolutely. The smaller you can make them, the more likely they are to work as earrings. These would be gorgeous as earrings. And if you did them with bling yarn or added beads to it, yes, it would be absolutely fantastic. You could even add a couple of them. You could make them two motifs long like that. That would be super cute too. The little bit larger one, that would be cute. This one too big? This one might be too big. Yeah, that one's too big. That's okay. But it would be fine for a pendant. Any of these would be fine for a pendant. Or if you wanted to do a triple pendant, you could do this as well. Right? Wouldn't that be cute? And then put it on a chain of some kind. Oh, sandshell, yes. If you have existing doilies that your mom made, this would be a fantastic project because you can do it with any doilies, any motifs. I happen to design several for this project, but honestly, if you have access to motifs that are already done, that would be an amazing project. Absolutely, no question. For sure. Garbage man is going by. There we go. Does anybody have any other questions? I've got my bags that need lining all lined up here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different bags that need lining this weekend, so I'll be pulling out my sewing machine for that. Yep, they'd be pretty around the collar of a shirt, absolutely. Yes, for sure. Yeah, you could decorate them in so many different ways. Oh, thanks. Everybody loves my earrings. They're old. They've been around a long time. I love gold hoops, though. I love any variation of gold hoop earrings. Silver hoops, too. All right, I don't see any other questions. Oh, will there be some knitting projects in your new book? Nope, this book's going to be 100% crochet. It'd be possible that the following book after that will be knitting, but this book's going to be only crochet. I've combined both of them in a couple of books, and I've done them separately in a couple of books, and just keep listening to my audience and figuring out what everybody wants. I think the majority of people would prefer to have them separated, so that's why I've decided to separate them. They were combined in Motif Magic. They were combined in 80 Handmade Gifts. When is it coming out? The pre-order is out. The pre-order for the ebook is out now. You can get started on the first 5 projects now, and each week I will be releasing the new patterns for the book. So we'll do it in a pre-order surprise every week, like we did with Layers Crochet and Layers Knit. But it is available now, so the first 5 patterns you get immediately when you order the ebook, the pre-order, and then each week I'll be sending you new updates. Any size canvas, Lisa. Doesn't matter. That the sizes that I showed today, this is an 8 by 10. and this is a 16 by 20. Obviously you'll need larger motifs or more motifs for the bigger canvas, but those are the two sizes that I showed today, 8 by 10 and 16 by 20. You're welcome. Okay, so somebody want to pick a number, 6 or 7? These are the two Create, Share, Inspire notebooks that I have on hand. Yes, you can do any kind of yarn. Any kind of yarn, Peggy. Any color of yarn. You could combine the yarns. You could keep, change, have different colors. You could do them all in one color or mix the colors. You could mix the colors in the motifs even. There's no wrong way to create motifs for a canvas. Absolutely. Oh, I like this one. This is by Walter Pater. It is the addition of strangeness to beauty that constitutes the romantic character in art. Yes, it's our uniqueness. He says strangeness, but I think that also qualifies as uniqueness. That is really what makes things interesting, doesn't it? Whether it's art or any other creative medium, music or whatever, food. I think that it's that quirkiness, that uniqueness, that one-of-a-kindness that we all possess that really makes our creations special, because it's what makes everybody unique and different. I love that. It's that human quality. So thank you, Walter Pater. And this also applies, in my opinion, to when let's use our stuff for an example. Let's use crochet for an example. I design something, I pick the yarn, I pick the color, I write the pattern, and I style it, and I show you my interpretation of it. But when you read the pattern and follow the instructions and pick your yarn and pick your color, it's your interpretation of my pattern. And it isn't identical, right? Sometimes it is different in color or different in size, or you style it differently, or you add different embellishments to it. And it's that uniqueness, that one-of-a-kindness that makes it your own personal work of art. And I think that that is so special. And that's what's so fun about seeing everybody's finished projects in the Create, Share, Inspire Facebook group. We have that community area there that we don't have here on YouTube for people to upload their photos so we can see what everybody else makes with my patterns and my yarns. And I find that to be so interesting because it is an interpretation, it's not identical, and that is the human element. And that's what I love so much. So thank you, Walter Pater. It is the addition of strangeness to beauty that constitutes the romantic character in art. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy Friday to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, the show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I'll see you Monday. Bye.